Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, y'all. It's me, Tamara. Yes. Welcome back. It's a solo dolo episode, y'all. I'm always excited when I come back solo after having guests because there's so much going on in my life that I feel like I got to catch y'all up on. But if you are not, you should. No. Let me back up. Let me act like I know how to start my show. Y'all, I don't know. I don't do notes anymore because I think I'm a professional and I got this. And clearly I don't ever have this. So, if you are new, thank you so much for tuning in. New episodes drop every Thursday. So come on back through. Check out some other episodes. For all my regular supporters, thank you. Now, if you are not, you should totally be. I'm sorry, y'all, if you're watching this and you see me looking around. I don't know if there's a lag in my online broadcasting studio, but it looks weird because looks like it looks like my you know how them Chinese voiceover movies be like they move the mouth and then the words come. I guess I'll see what it looks like when I edit. Anyways, okay, let's back up. Hey guys, it's me, Tamara. Yes. Okay, let me get back on track. If you are not, you should totally be following me on social media. The link tree and all that good stuff is in the episode notes. Because it has all my social media. I have been posting more on TikTok. I feel like I finally kind of figured out what I want to do on there. And why it's so important is just because I just feel like I need to be as many places as possible to get exposure for my brand. So that's literally the reason why it has been important to be on TikTok, because there are people on TikTok that are not on Twitter. I've actually even been uploading YouTube shorts, and that has, now I'm not going to say I have thousands of, first of all, I don't even have 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube. So if you're, a great way that you could support, if you're not already, is subscribe to my YouTube channel. That'd be great. But I have gotten a few more followers, and I'm pretty sure it's probably from uploading YouTube shorts, because I kind of have been looking at the analytics on different videos or whatever. So it's cool. Again, it's just about getting my brand out there. It's so weird because stuff I never care. Like, as a podcaster, this is a therapeutic creative outlet, and I keep it that way on purpose. So, like, I didn't really care about certain things. I really only uploaded to YouTube because it's like some people will rather watch on YouTube than listen to a podcast. I am actually the opposite, but everybody's different. But I've started uploading like different types of content to YouTube. So it's not just podcast episodes. It's workout motivational little clips or whatever, then just some other random videos. Some of it is from TikTok, and then some of it I'm trying to get into doing more like vlogging and stuff, but I'm kind of slowly getting into that simply because I want to do it more once I move. I don't want to be doing a whole bunch now, you know what I mean? But anyways, so yeah, subscribe to my YouTube. But yeah, I have really been like just doing the most, in my opinion, it feels like, to try to grow my brands. And it has been like, it's not hard in the sense that it's easy to create content. I take a Sunday and I create content for both Tamara the Dawn Inc. and Melanintoxicate, because there's daily like memes that I create for that, kind of like just little encouraging things. So I do that on Sundays, and then it schedules, for the week. So it's not like I'm doing this every day. There is no way. But it's just wild because I even what did I start? I started a LinkedIn, or started a profile on LinkedIn, just because I'm trying to figure ways to intentionally network with like-minded people. So this is the part where it has been like hard for me. I remember when podcasting started, and I had to then step out of my comfort zone, be on Twitter, network with strangers. It was the greatest thing I ever did, because those have been the most supportive people when it comes to my business. But the reason being is because they're all content creators too. So they get it. They get the grind. They get what it's like to have a podcast. Some people blog too, like I do, or whatever. Or I remember there was this one lady that she started as a blog, and then, excuse me, she started adding podcasting. So it was kind of like the opposite of what I did or whatever. But either way, it's like we're kind of on the same journey. Like, it's relatable because we're all content creators. But what I've noticed is that since I started my company, especially now that I am solely doing that, and so it's kind of like I'm not gonna fail. Like, that's not even an option. Failing is not an option. So I'm going to learn and grow. But if I was to quote unquote fail, or like stop my business or whatever, it wouldn't be because I didn't try everything and step out of my comfort zone in many different ways to try to make it work. So it's not going to be because of that, because especially now that I have left my job and all these things, it's kind of like this is going to work out. Like, there's no other option. It's not a if, it's a when. And I know it's about consistency and all that, but it's been hard because it has been a very, very lonely journey, because I'm again in the position where there's not many people that I know that are entrepreneurs like I am. Like, being, and it's kind of like, it kind of went from podcasting to business owner, and then brand owner with Melanintoxicate. But still, those are like three different things. And if you look at the way my social media posts go from each account, if you follow all the accounts, you'll see that even if I'm saying something similar, it's going to come from a different voice on Melanintoxicate versus Tamara the Don Inc. And I don't usually put the same type of stuff, because Melanintoxicate, I really promote like healthy boundaries, self-worth, relationship dynamics, and stuff like that. And then of course Tamara the Don Inc. is like professional stuff and building your brand and business essentials and all that good stuff. And so it's kind of like, it's just very interesting as I am doing. And then there's just regular me on social media. So I still gotta laugh and joke and inspire and share my journey and all this stuff. So it's been very, though, it's been great in the sense that I never realized how much I enjoy creating content. I actually like creating TikTok videos. I'm getting better at the editing and the transitions and all that good. Now, not all that fancy stuff they be doing where they change outfits. You never know though. You know what I mean? We ain't there yet, but I have gotten better at making videos, kind of flow better or whatever with editing, and just understanding how things work on TikTok, because I am very much one of those like just dive in and figure it out type people. So this is how I do it. And I don't know if there are TikTok tutorials, maybe there are, but it is what it is. But it has been a very lonely season. Now I have started going to, my church has these monthly like basically workshops or whatever for either business owners or even if you're just an employee. So you don't have to be a business owner. And I've been going because I can, because I set my schedule or whatever. And that has been just so encouraging. Just like community and being around like-minded people who understand your struggle is so important no matter what you're doing. And so, because I know this, when I became a podcaster, this is why shout out to those of y'all that listen that didn't know me before this show. Like, you listen because we met on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. Shout out to y'all, because in the beginning, I'm kind of starting to see like family and friends, share stuff on Facebook or whatever, or they'll more so, if they see me, tell me they listen, or text me, or message me or whatever. So it's a little bit different. But those of you that are content creators, like, you understand the importance of sharing my tweets and all that. And like, shout out to y'all, because had it not have been for y'all in the beginning, I don't know that I would have continued, because this is why I didn't continue creative projects in the past, because people, if they don't understand what it looks like to support you, then they're not going to do it. So they may listen, but they might not tell anybody about it, or just different stuff like that. And so shout out to y'all. But with that, where I'm like stepping out of my comfort zone is like having to insert myself into new networks, new places, to again be with like-minded people. So like business owners. And what I didn't know about LinkedIn, because I've never had a profile before the other day, literally just started it, is you can upload content like similar to what I do on social media, and or Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. The only difference is it's like people are on there for a specific reason, because they can also see the services that you offer and hire you for stuff. And I didn't know anything about LinkedIn, because again, I didn't have a profile. And so I've been trying to be intentional about inserting myself into like specific communities that are going to be the audience for what I'm doing. And that's where it's like, it's a lot, you know what I mean? It's just because just trying to figure all this out. But thankfully, the underlying principle is the same, is that you need to surround yourself with like-minded people. So it's like, I can't expect someone who isn't a business owner to really understand the struggle that you have as a business. Y'all, I promise, literally last night, I was like, man, I shouldn't have left my job. Like, I'm about to just get a job. Like, it's just this crazy roller coaster where when you have a good sales day or whatever, it's like, yes, I'm getting it. Okay, period. And then you have days where you're like, okay, I'm about to go get a job. Like, it's crazy. And I don't know that that ever ends, because it's like so many people say that that's a struggle that are like further along in their journey than I am. So I don't think it's like this that ever stops, because it's always a risk. Because if customers stop hiring you for their services, or buying products for you, or if there's like with the pandemic, there's this lady that I follow on Facebook. I not follow, we're Facebook friends. And she was saying how, because of the pandemic, the industry that she's in, it really was affected, because the customers that she normally had or whatever couldn't support her. So you could have stuff like that. But it has been crazy, y'all. And like, I'm so far out of my comfort zone, because now I'm having to get into the side of me of, on my TikTok, because TikTok is like people that you could see their content and you're not following them, and you may never see their content again unless you choose to follow them. And so I've been on my videos, because I'll put, okay, so TikTok, I don't put any podcast stuff up there. I don't know why, I specifically just don't. So I don't put any podcast stuff up there at all. I either do new original content. I will put some of the Tamara the Dawn Inc. content, and some of the memes from Melanintoxicate that are like, not all of them. So I'm not putting all the same stuff that you see on Instagram and Twitter, on TikTok. Some of it, but not all. But will do like original content or whatever. But what I have started doing, and this is the part of me that's like stepping out of my comfort zone, but it's kind of like if I don't do it, I won't say my business won't grow, but like I said in the beginning, it's not going to be because I didn't step out of my comfort zone. That's not going to be the reason my business isn't as successful as I want it or need it to be. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be because fear or insecurity or I let any of those things stop me from doing what I got to do. It's going to be for, it's not going to happen, first of all, because I'm the type of person that I put my all into everything that I do. And so every job that I had within my field, I was promoted at because of that. And so I know that if I put that much more into my own company, especially because it's longer hours and I'm such a perfectionist, that I know it's going to be successful. It's all about just timing. Like it takes time to build your brand and build your company. And I have to remind myself that though I have been podcasting and doing some similar things for 2 years, not as intentionally though with over 2 years, excuse me, with podcasting, my company just launched end of July. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even think we've hit 6 months yet technically. So it's kind of like I have to remind myself of these things. Same with Melanintoxicate. Though I had the idea over a year ago, man, it just launched last month. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the people that bought merchandise because it's wild that they chose to spend their money with me during the Christmas season. Like, I know somebody that bought my merchandise as Christmas gifts for their family. You know what I'm saying? So like, shout out to everybody if you happen to be listening that supported. I genuinely appreciate appreciate it because like that's my baby. You know what I'm saying? Tamara the Dawn Inc. only exists because I wanted to protect Melanintoxicate. Super grateful that I made that choice to like have a solid foundation for that brand, but like the brand came before the thought. The thought was never to even start a consulting agency, but you know, sometimes the greatest things that happen to us weren't planned. You know what I'm saying? They're those interruptions or those whatever. But it has been like, hold on. It has been like, I don't know. It has been a lonely, lonely season though. I just, I don't know. I have had to fight so many insecurities and just fears and all that and just keep promoting my stuff even when I don't feel like it. Oh, that's what I was saying. On TikTok, I've started adding like follow me for more tips on like the videos that I post, even being more intentional about on Wednesdays doing these type of videos, and it's kind of always been that way where Wednesday is more like the encouragement type video, might even have like spiritual undertone to it depending on what's going on in my week. And then the Saturday is like more relate not more the Saturday video is related to whatever the weekly teaching topic is for the company or whatever. But I'm starting to, just last week I started, instead of me talking about okay, here's the cool thing though. So this is a super random episode, as you could tell. The cool thing is that, so for the first, I guess, 20 weeks of uploading content, I didn't really plan it out. And I'm the kind of person that needs freedom within the structure, like, because I am a free spirited person, and being as structured as I am, if I don't have some freedom within that, ugh, I feel like just it's miserable. So like prime example with podcasting, every Thursday episode's gonna drop. What the episode's gonna be about is gonna be dependent on how I feel. You know, some of these series and all this stuff, like the Black Card Revoked series, was literally a ooh, I want to do that out of nowhere type of idea. It wasn't anything that was planned. Now there is stuff that I have planned, like the Jack of All Trades series is a monthly series. And then I'm actually next month starting a Melanintoxicate series where I highlight just either a black man or a black woman that just is so dope. You know what I'm saying? But people that have inspired me on my journey. So it's gonna start for sure with like not podcasters, like no shade to y'all, but just people that I already knew that for whatever reasons they just really inspired me. But it is gonna be a black man or a black woman because if you don't know, the brand is about celebrating the beauty found within melanated people. So I'm gonna kind of like use the brand to have a series where I specifically am highlighting dope black people, you know what I'm saying? So anywho, but so there is like some structure, but there's really freedom because I can do whatever I want, how I want to do it. I don't have to do these series, you know what I'm saying? If you think there have been stuff that comes and goes, the karaoke battle happened when it happened. Like it's always when I get that urge to, ooh, I want to do this, and these are the people that I want to do it with, type stuff. And so with Tamara the Don Inc., the first 20 weeks, I was just like every week I'd sit down and be like, okay, what do I want the topic to be for this week? I didn't really have like it mapped out, you know what I mean? And I'm glad I did it that way. Then when I hit the end of the year, which is just kind of wild how it worked out this way because this wasn't really my plan at first. I looked back through the 20 weeks that I had done and I decided that I didn't really want to add another topic because anything else that I wanted to talk about could be under the umbrella of those 20 categories. And so now I know, okay, we're going to talk about these 20 things and then we're going to repeat. And so and it's just crazy that it worked out that at the beginning of the year, we restarted with the first week of what we did, back in July or whatever. So, with that, now that I've already set the foundation for just more so talking about the topics in the first 20 weeks, going forward, what I'm doing is okay, here are 3 tips on how to do this. You know what I'm Because it's cool to talk about it, but if I don't give people, I won't even say if I don't give people, if people don't have practical application on how to make it happen, they're not going to be able to do it. You know what I mean? So that's a shift, you know what I'm saying? And so y'all, if you follow me on social media, then you notice that at the beginning of the year, the branding changed slightly for Tamara the Don Inc. And then you're even noticing some updates with podcasting and blogging. And if you've been to my website is not completely redone because the main like information, but it's like updated to match the new branding and then just some other updates. And the funny thing about that is that though it happened at the beginning of the year, that was not my plan at all. That's just something that happened because I decided that. So for the first 20 weeks of creating content for Tamara the Don Inc., I would just find memes on like a pic, and y'all saw it. I would just find memes related to whatever the weekly teaching is. But now I'm the type of person that once I do stuff for a while, I feel like I have. Okay, so it's kind of like the first 20 weeks, I was still but let me say this like this. It's not like I feel like I've arrived anywhere with entrepreneurship. So I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is the first 20 weeks, I was more so setting my foundation and figuring out how I wanted to do things. Now that I've established, okay, I'm going to talk about these 20 topics and I'm going to have this on these days, because that's what I feel like the first 20 weeks was me figuring out. Now I'm like, okay, so I would just find memes online and just upload it because I mean, I'm not going to quote somebody else's quote and pretend like I said it. I think that is so trash. And I hate when people will either tweet stuff and I don't see it on Twitter as much because you usually can retweet or quote tweet somebody's stuff. But I more so see it on Facebook where it's a meme that we all saw. We synced it. Like that meme says, we synced it. and y'all act like y'all came up with that, like we didn't see it. You don't put no parentheses around it. You don't cite your source, none of that. And that irritates me. I feel like that's just such a lack of creativity. And maybe it's the creative in me that doesn't really like to necessarily intentionally do what other people are doing. Sometimes I'll get into trending stuff, but most of the time I don't. I just enjoy y'all doing it. And so maybe there's that. But so like I would just find memes on the internet and I would just post that. Well, what you have noticed, and this is how this whole new branding thing started. So I was like, okay, at the top of the year, now that we're starting all over with the topics, I'm not going to find memes. I'm going to come up with my own, like, kind of like make my own memes on what I feel about, or what, not really what I feel, I should say what I've learned or what I already know about like this week's is consistency, for example. And that's something that I can say that I am good at, which is wild because if you are an OG listener, you know that when I first started, consistency was not a strength of mine. And here we are over 2 years, not a week missed, no matter what an episode is going to come out. I don't care if it's a short episode with no video because something's going on and I can't record video and y'all just get audio. And I'm like, this week sucked or whatever. You going to get an episode. You know what I'm saying? And I've done that where I dropped the episode and I was recording it in my car and there was no visuals. You know what I'm saying? I did that once. So y'all gonna get content regardless. But so because of that, I could say, consistency. So now that I feel like I've learned even that much more about how to be consistent, I said, okay, I'm going to create my own memes. So I am a person that I want stuff to look a certain way and this, that, and the other. And then I started realizing how much I need to have like my website, my company name, and my Instagram and Twitter or whatever on all of my content, just because if somebody retweets it or shares it or does whatever, I want it to tie back to somebody might need the services that I have to offer, especially when it comes to like coaching and all that stuff, which I have started. We'll get into that. Anyways, so I started creating memes or whatever. And as I was going to design it, that's when the whole rebranding thing. So it wasn't even like oh, I want to rebrand. It was okay, I'm gonna make this meme. And then when I made the meme, I liked the way that looked, and I was like, huh, I need to rebrand so everything matches because my colors and all that, everything was always kind of like, it's my brand. So then I remember I sat here and my daughter and my mom were laughing at me because we were all kind of talking and I just started like cussing and all this stuff. And they're like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, because if I rebrand my company, I just knew all the work that it would take. That means I had to update my website and I had to change all of my templates for all my social media templates and all that stuff. And so it literally, I took a day, you know what I'm saying? And I did all that because when once I decide something is just gonna happen. And I mean, my time is my time. So however I choose to spend my time is how I choose to spend it. But yeah, so then once I started updating the website, then I was like, okay, well, I don't want this to look like this anymore, which is funny. It's probably like the third time I have updated my website in the couple of years that I had it, simply just because I mean, it started off as just podcasting. So that's one thing for sure. Then as I've continued to evolve, the website has to evolve with me. So like it went from being just content creator to now I'm a business owner. So what does it look like to still have, you can still access my podcast and blog on my website. What does it look like that? You used to be able to watch YouTube videos on there, but I don't have that anymore because one, you couldn't like have a automated thing just the way the web, and I don't know if you actually can, and it just costs more, but I'm not paying no more for my website than what I already pay. Or so I would like embed it, you know what I'm saying? And then that means that was something I had to do. So that's one. Two, I don't know if that was taking away from my views for the video. I don't really necessarily know how that works. It doesn't matter. I just decided that I will have a button on there that says, can refer you to my YouTube channel, which I know somebody has clicked on it because I looked at my analytics. But it's like I'm not doing all that. So just trying to make stuff as efficient as possible for me just because I am doing like it's almost like I have 3 companies cuz even though podcasting and blogging is not a job, I work like it is. Like everything comes out. Now the blog has been late, so I haven't missed a week. The blog has been like maybe it'll come out Tuesday instead of a Monday, or it might come out a little bit later. And I've kind of taken liberty with that just because I know people get notified that are subscribed when it drops or whatever. And it's kind of something that's like I'm still figuring out how to manage my time best, like what days I should do what. And now I realize that Sunday is the day that I need to just do all my social media and then write on Mondays, which was always the plan anyway. But since Sunday is my long day, I make Monday a different day. So I'm like, still figuring out my time. Now I do all my so I'll do my podcast episode unless I did a guest episode because guest episodes I've been trying to do in advance. So if I don't have a guest, if it's a solo episode, I record the week of it dropping. And now Tuesdays is my day to record my podcast unless I have a guest, then we go whatever their schedule is. And it's also the day that I record my company videos. So now what I'm doing is do like have a record day, and it'll usually be a day that I create TikTok videos. Now, part of that is because y'all know I have natural hair, and taking Sheba out of the twist and all that, if you pay attention, you see I started back wearing my wig just because I just haven't felt like dealing with my hair. Plus, it's been colder and my hair is drier in the winter anyway. Not as dry as it normally is. Shout out to Yall. Fun fact, I have been saying Miel Organics this whole time. That is not how you say it because I watched one of their lives recently because they have a new product that came out, and the founder or whatever, or I don't know what her title is, but the lady who created it, she was talking and she said Miel, and I was like, what? Because I really been saying Miel. But shout out to them though, because my hair is not as dry as it, but I just ain't been feeling like dealing with it. And that's how I am. I'll be cool with dealing with my hair for so long, and then but the beautiful thing about a wig is that if I want to wear it, I can. If I don't, whatever. And so I've been like, on this day I do this, on this day I do that. Saturday, unless I move it to a different day. So usually Saturday though is my rest day. I don't touch my computer. I have to have a day where I don't touch my computer and I don't do anything work related to refresh my mind, my soul, just everything. You know what I'm saying? But I really been just figuring out how to prioritize my time. And so yeah, like I said, spent that day branding, updating my website. And like, that wasn't the plan. Sorry, y'all, I got distracted. That wasn't the plan. Which, matter of fact, let me just. Okay, sorry. This other monitor stuff kept popping up, and if you can't see, you don't even know what I'm talking about anyway. But um yeah, so it's just been really a wild season of me figuring out how I want to best do everything that I'm doing because it has to remain authentic to who I am, but then it also is me stepping out of my comfort zone because it is not really Like, I'm the kind of person that I wanna just tell you about it, get you excited about it, kinda like with the karaoke battle. I had the promo videos, all that, and yeah, tell you to come, but I'm like, to say follow me for more tips, like that is so uncomfortable. And it really made me cringe the first time I put it on there. But I think I got a follower on TikTok off of that. So it's kind of like you just gotta keep stepping out of your comfort zone if you're trying to grow anything from scratch. I don't care if it's a business, I don't care if it's a brand, because and I say those separately, even though they can be the one and the same. But what I realized as a content creator is that my brand was my brand before I became a company owner. So it's like I've always had a brand. We actually are our own brand. So whatever we do is either on brand or off brand for who we are and how the public like views us, because that's basically what your brand is how the public or your friends and family or whatever to experience you. And so I had a brand even before I became a content creator. Then I have my brand as a content creator, and you're trying to grow a brand when you're doing anything consistently online with uploading content. So that's why I always say those things separately, because not everybody who is a content creator is a company owner. You may work as hard as I do, or maybe even more, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you, I mean, I guess it's the same because I had a full time job when I was podcast. Like I've always been doing a lot. It's just doing a lot looks different because now I do a lot more content online than I was doing before. And I do just a lot of different things than what I was doing before because I didn't have time before because I also had a full time job. But company is different because the company is only really a company when it's registered with the Secretary of State. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you could have a brand, you can even have a business, but if you're like if your business isn't legitimized by registering it with the state, you really don't have a business. You really have a brand, you know what I'm saying? Or you have a bootleg business, which I've been there, you know what I'm saying? This is no shade, but it's all about having a solid foundation for whatever it is that you're doing, you know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at. It is a wild, wild season. It is just so weird. Yeah, it's so weird, but I just keep going. You know what I'm saying? I get excited about different things. Like I just started a Facebook group. I know, right? A Facebook group, but I've been really thinking about what is an intentional way for me to get the information. Like, who is my audience? You know what I'm saying? Because you always gotta target your audience, and it's not even just about getting clients and customers, although of course we want that, but it's not even about that because at the core of who I am is all about helping people. If you've been listening for a while, you should already know that in some kind of way I'm going to encourage you, inspire you, and it's always towards being healthy mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and in our relationships. You know what I'm saying? And so that transcends into everything I do. That's why I worked in the social work field for over a decade. So I've been really thinking about what is the best way to get the content that I create to the people that actually want to get these tips and get whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so I created a Build a Biz entrepreneurship essentials group on Facebook, which if you go to my link tree, the link to it is on there so you can join if you want. You don't have to, but join. And basically it's gonna be some of the same content from Tamara the Dawn Inc., which of course, because that's where, all of this stuff comes from. And even when the Build a Biz workshop launches to Tamara the Dawn Inc. product or service or whatever, but there's going to be other stuff in there because I'm in a couple of Facebook groups that are geared towards entrepreneurs. They have a different focus though, because mine is more so like these are the essential things for you to have a solid foundation. Because if you don't have a solid foundation for whatever it is that you're trying to do, you're not going to be able to sustain it when like life starts lifing. You know what I'm saying? Like in my personal life, there has been a lot that has happened that should have stopped me from doing everything that I'm doing right now. But I just keep going because I already had a solid foundation. You know what I'm saying? And so teaching people that some people don't understand how to leverage content on social media. They don't understand certain social media efficiencies to gain exposure for their brand or company, because the thing about it is people don't watch TV like regular TV commercials and all that. Not a lot of people do that, but either everyone's on social media or they know somebody who's on social media who may see that product and say, "Hey," or may see that service and show it to the person who's not on social media. You know what I'm saying? How many times, if you're somebody who doesn't get on social media, has somebody showed you their phone to show you a meme or a video or whatever? Like, I've seen TikTok videos way before I was on TikTok. And so social media is such a great way to grow your brand and gain exposure for it and for your company too. So it's kind of like some people don't understand how to do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to, like, people always, TikTok is a prime example. People assume that, and I did too. People assume that just because you're on TikTok, you're going to be doing all these dances. There are people that do it. It's hella entertaining. I follow people like that, or those videos will show up in my feed. I have not done one dance on TikTok, and I don't plan to do any dances on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like people think there's like a stigma that'll be connected to something, but man, social media is such a great way to gain exposure for your brand. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I started this Facebook group though, because it's like I started seeing people like my Facebook friends. So my Facebook is different than Twitter and Instagram in the sense that it's like my friends and family. It's not public. I probably only have 5 people on my Facebook that I didn't know personally, that I went to their page and saw what they were about and felt like it was okay to add them. A lot of times I get Facebook friend requests from people I don't know and I just delete it because I'm like, I don't know you. My Instagram and all that is in my bio. Like, you could follow me there, but like, cause I tag my kids in stuff on Facebook. Like, I don't tag my kids in any social media posts, not even on their birthday. I'll put a video up, but I don't tag them and stuff. Even when they've been on the show, I did not tag them in anything. You know what I'm saying? But Facebook is different because that's my family, that's my friends. And I've been seeing a lot of them posting stuff about the lack of support that they get for their business. And it's interesting to me because it is that way with family. Like, I have key people that will share my stuff, but out of all the Facebook friends that I have, it shouldn't be like less than 5 people that are sharing my stuff. You know what I'm saying? But let me post my kids, or let me post a selfie that says Happy New Year, or you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I haven't posted a 2022 selfie yet. I guess I should do that just because, we're getting so deep into the year. But anyways, yeah, like I do that and I get all this interaction. But if I post about my business, if I post about my podcast, my blog. Now there are people that read my blog that click on it from Facebook, but they don't interact with the post. You know what I'm saying? And so you see that, and it's frustrating, and it could almost make you want to quit having the lack of support. Thank God for me that I learned that you got to step out of your comfort zone and you got to network and you got to whatever with podcasting, which is why, as I said at the beginning, I've been trying to be on LinkedIn and try to be like, I've joined a couple Facebook groups because you have to be around like minded people to not feel alone in your journey. You know what I'm saying? part of why I started, um, okay, we'll get there, or maybe we won't. Who cares? It's not that important. But anyways, I've seen a lot of people like posting, not complaining, but kind of complaining about that. And so I decided that it's cool for me to be a part of the groups that I'm a part of, but why not create a space for people who are just starting out? Because even though I'm kind of just starting out as the company owner, the branding, the solid foundation, the marketing, the social media content, and all that stuff, I have been doing that for over 2 years at this point with podcasting. So a lot of stuff that I use for my company, I kind of learned it with podcasting. I just do it a little bit different to keep it on brand with what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like there's a lot of people that may not know that stuff. And so I created a Facebook group to kind of have a space for people to network with like-minded people, basically just create the community, kind of like the retweet groups that I'm a part of. Shout out to the first person whoever invited me to one of those, because man, I've met some of the dopest people in there, and I've learned a lot because if someone has a question, we will try to, help each other out or whatever. And so it's kind of like I'm trying to create that though for people who are just starting to build a brand or just starting to build a company. And the thing about it is they've seen me continue to go, progress, grow, just as you all has of you as you've listened to me on the show. But these are people that I've known me for years, you know what I'm saying, and have watched me from being in college to this, to that, to the other. So anybody could be a part of it though if you want to. Like I said, the link is in the link tree and you could just click on that, and there is like you got to agree to the rules, which it's nothing ridiculous. It's more so just to keep the place a respectful, safe place, cuz we're not about to have all that bull in a group that's supposed to be about like growing your business, you know what I'm saying? And we're all adults and whatever. So there's like rules that you have to agree to be a part of the group. But other than that, anybody can join. It is a private group in the sense that you can't see who's in it or what's in it if you're not in the group, but it is not a hidden group. So like anybody could find it, and if they decide they want to join it, they could go ahead and do that. And again, it's content that's related to just basically entrepreneurship essentials that I feel like have been super helpful to me on my journey to have a solid foundation so that I can keep going and fight all the battles of I'm about to quit, I'm about to quit, I'm about to quit. And so with that, I started to say this earlier. I have launched coaching services. So I've started with basically content creator efficiencies. Some of y'all listening may not need this because I know a lot of content creators. So it's kind of like you already know branding, marketing, social media efficiencies, and how to leverage content to get your brand out there. So that's more so for the people that are just starting out. Because when you're just starting out, you don't know that. Some people don't even know how, or excuse me, some people don't even understand what the importance is of like hashtags. Some people don't understand how the social media algorithms work and stuff like that. So it's kind of like basically pouring into the next generation, which it's so funny. It's just so core to who I am because I did youth ministry or I taught workshop development to teenagers and all this stuff. So I'm all about pouring whatever knowledge I have out to whoever that wants it. You know what I'm saying? So I have started accepting clients for content creator efficiencies coaching. If you go to my website, which the link is in my bio, you can schedule your initial consultation and we can go from there. Let's see what else. That's exciting though, because that means the rest of the coaching packages are like not that far away. It's just all about me making sure that I have the documentation in order to start the service is why it's been such a slow rollout. Plus, when Melanintoxicate launched, that took up basically all of December and figuring out what it looks like to even create content for that. Cause it's like, I don't want to just put clothes up all the time. Like, that's dope. I want people to buy my stuff, but I don't want to just do that because the brand promotes specific values and whatever. And so it's like I want to put out content that promotes those values. So that's why all the memes for that are the way they are. If you follow that, if you're not, you should follow that on Instagram and Twitter. And the link to that is in the link tree, which is in the episode notes. Everything is in my link tree is, and I don't know if there may be other, I mean, I'm sure there are other, I don't even know what you would call it, things to house all your different links. I love it because I have so many different things going on, and so my Instagram page, not my Melanintoxicate and Tamara the Dawn Eek, but my Instagram page is kind of like the one stop shop. So yeah, you'll see some content that's crossover from Melanintoxicate and Tamara the Dawn Eek, but not all. You know what I'm saying? Like when I start getting into giveaways and all that stuff, you got to be following that page. And if you know anything about me, you should know that I'm gonna have some giveaways because I had a contest for a giveaway for my merchandise at my first live show at my year podiversary or whatever. So it's like there's going to be giveaways, but you got to be following Melanintoxicate to get in on that. And I do have, oh, there's a sale coming up. Gosh. See, I don't have any notes, so it is what it is. Yeah, Melanintoxicate is having a sale from January 15th to January 21st. It is to celebrate the launch of the kids merchandise. So, the adults has like So Dope They Get High. And at first I wasn't even thinking representation matters in all things. At first when this idea came about, I didn't even really think about like having kids. That just wasn't in my thought process. But then once it launched, I was like, okay, first of all, little kids, like even though So Dope They Get High is not promoting drug usage, I could see where parents wouldn't want that on their kids. Like I wouldn't want that on my little kid. You know what I'm saying? But the heart of the brand is to celebrate the beauty found within melanated people, which starts as a child. You know what I'm saying? And so it's so interesting because I got the designs and then I was like, okay, what am I going to put on the shirts? Because I can't put So Dope They Get High, and I'm not going to put an adult message on a kid face because that is so inappropriate. And so I actually had to get inside the mind of a kid, and I did some market research with my nieces actually. And I just had like three ideas of what I wanted to do because it has to be on brand. So the brand is all about promoting like self love, but just being like the same thing that's the core of who I am, being healthy mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and in our relationships. So it's kind of like, what does that look like to pour basically love and life and positivity into Black people? I say melanated because I like to say it like that because then it ties it to Melanintoxicate. But what does that look like? You know what I'm saying? And what does that look like for a kid? Because to say So Dope They Get High, they're not even going to understand what that means. And even I'm still establishing the brand, so that's why the first line of adult clothing had the definition on some of the clothes because I'm establishing the brand. Like Melanintoxicate is a word I made up. No one knows what that means if I don't establish my brand. So that's kind of why it is the way it is. Because I actually have some more adult merchandise coming out in February, and then I'm gonna chill for a little bit on creating new designs and stuff. But I wanted to have something like have an option for the people that don't want to have the part about getting high, because there's a stigma with that, and that's okay. Like, I get it. So therefore, I'm not about to be salty if people don't want to wear, because the point of the brand is to celebrate the beauty found in melanated people, you know what I'm saying? And there's many different ways that you can say the same message. And so I actually came out with a different design for the people that may not want to have the part about getting high on their clothing, but they agree that black people are dope. You know what I'm saying? And that we should celebrate ourselves, or celebrate us if you're not a black person, because you can definitely not be black and still appreciate the beauty found within a black person. Now, I'm not talking about external, I'm talking about within, that black girl magic, black boy joy, you feel me? But what the heck was I talking about? Oh, sale. Yes. So to celebrate the kids merchandise, the I am loved, because that's the one when I said to my nieces, and I said a few different phrases. I said that first, they were like, "Yes," cuz every kid wants to be loved, you know what I'm saying? The other ones they wasn't feeling, you know what I'm saying? And so to celebrate the launching of the kids merchandise, there is a sale from January 15th to January 21st. If you use the code LOVED22, which I will have this in the episode notes, you'll get 10% off your order. And so it's not going to be the last sale, because that's just who I am. I like to have sales and I like to do whatever. And the cool thing about using Teespring, that's who I use to do my merchandise fulfillment. So e-commerce in general, well, I don't know if they're all like this, but the thing about Teespring is there's no upfront cost. So it's kind of like whatever I get is profit. Now, I don't know what it would look like if I have my own fulfillment center, blah, blah, blah. But just starting out, I'm not about to do all that, because that's money up front, or that's time, me having to do the orders, box them. No, I don't have time to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? And it's good merchandise, because I had already been buying products from them from other content creators that use them. So it's solid stuff, and that's who I use. So the cool thing is, if I have a sale, like, yeah, I'll get less profit, but it's all profit anyway at this point. And so, I mean, it's not going to be the last sale, but you never know when sales are going to be, because it's really when the spirit moves me. You feel me? No, I'm just kidding. But yes, there's a sale from January 15th to January 21st. So if you missed out on the last two sales, or if you're wanting to get something for kids, or also, I get it, I launched during December, Christmas time, you know what I'm saying? I get it, I get it. But either way, there's some merchandise that's coming out, because the kids merchandise launches January 15th. So that's why the sale. So, the first week of whatever. It's funny because the last two sales that I had, the reason they were only like 1 and 2 day sales is because I didn't actually host those sales. Teespring did, or I guess it's Spring now, but they did. So it's like I didn't have any control over how long the sale was. Now, the cool thing is, I didn't lose out on profits if people use those sale codes, because they ate that, you know what I'm saying? So that was nice, but that's why those sales were only 1 day. I just feel like 1 day isn't enough to really, and that's also why you found out about it last week. If you notice, I've been promoting pretty much every day ever since I decided to have the sale, just so that people can see in advance and prepare, because I actually had somebody reach out to me that saw it late, and there was nothing I could do about that, because it wasn't my sale. And so what I did though is, I actually, because they DM'd me, I DM'd them like, "Hey, just wanted you to see this. We have the sale coming up. If they take advantage of it, great. If they don't, that's fine too." But since they had specifically reached out to me with the last sale, I wanted to make sure that they saw this one, because, but that's also why there's more advanced notice on, "Hey, I'm having a sale," you know what I'm saying? Just because I want people to actually see it and be able to take advantage of see it and take advantage of it if they're going to. So, I guess we'll go ahead and get up out of here because I have gone on and on and on and on and on. But that is where I'm at, y'all. It is, man, it is a time to be alive. I have been back on my Snatch 40s journey. I kind of got off track. And then a couple weeks ago, I can right now commit to 3 days a week working. Okay, let me say this. I never got off the Snatch 40s journey with the eating. So let's just be clear about that. But I did get off of it with working out. It was just too busy, too much going on. So now where I'm at is 3 days a week I work out and I upload the, motivational videos or whatever. And I've actually, yeah, it's videos now because I be creating TikTok videos and just having fun with creating content. And what does it look like to create like one piece of content, but be able to put it on different platforms? Because not all of you follow me on every platform. Some do, but the thing about TikTok is you might not see that video. You might not see that video till like a week from now. TikTok is so interesting that I'll see like, or I have somebody like a thing from like whenever, like, and I'll see people's old stuff in my For You page or whatever. So I've been though creating TikTok videos for my workout motivation. So I've been on that. I'm committed to 3 days a week for sure. I could stick with that. It's just kind of hectic. I want to do 4. I know I probably can't do more than that, but it's like Sunday, it ain't happening. If Tuesday is my record day, it ain't happening because I still have like other stuff I have to do. And it's also a priority to me to have my quiet time in the morning. I kind of got off track with that a little bit too. That was more so just like stress, frustration, whatever, lack of motivation. So I'm, doing the bare minimum. But no, it's a priority. Like I really have to set my intentions for the day. And with that, I've been really trying to be intentional about like speaking life, or people say positive affirmations or whatever. But the Bible talks about that life and death is in the power of the tongue. So like speak life over yourself, your circumstances, or whatever. So that's kind of why I use that language, because that's just what I know. It's the same thing though. And so I've been really trying to speak life over myself, my circumstances, because it has been, y'all, it has been such a wild, wild mental battle just to keep doing, just to be consistent. This is the thing. It's not like I can't do it. It is to be consistent is the battle, because it's kind of like you get into this. Is this even do anything? Is this whatever? And then you have somebody like my auntie just called me. I mean, she didn't call me. She was talking to my mom, and I kind of like hijacked the phone call. But just telling me how proud she is of me, and it was just a really like life-giving, encouraging ending of the conversation, because she said that at like the end as we were about to get off the phone. But man, she just don't even understand how much I didn't even know I needed it until she said it. And you never know like who's paying attention, even if you're not getting a lot of traction on social media like Facebook. I feel like Facebook can be like literally the worst place when it comes to stuff like that. That's why I started a group, because that's what I was seeing or whatever. But like even if you're not getting that traction on Facebook specifically, it doesn't mean people aren't watching. My granny doesn't interact with any of my content on social media, but she will call me. She watches it. She listens to my podcast, or no, watches my podcast videos on YouTube, or watches whatever I upload on Facebook, and she will call me and talk to me about it. I be forgetting she's on Facebook. I don't even know why she has a Facebook. She doesn't even have a profile picture, but she be on there and she be watching my content. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you never know who's watching. You got to just keep going. You never know who is inspired by your journey. It's so unfortunate that people don't often tell you that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to get better at telling the people that inspire me or have inspired me on my journey how much I appreciate them, which is kind of where the Melanintoxicate series is coming from. So that'll start in February or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. We got podcast happy hour is coming up pretty soon. We have not confirmed a date yet at the time of this recording, but y'all already know week of we gonna promote it like crazy. So it should be soon. I'm not even gonna say when it should be, but Audrey's hosting. That's what I can say. And so be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for more spoken word stuff coming. You're gonna see some clips. So we're not gonna have another live show just yet. We will be having another spoken word night live show, but you will start seeing clips. We're going to have a session. We're going to record that, and you'll start seeing that. That'll be YouTube exclusive. So it's kind of like I may put a little bit of the clip, but if you want to see the rest of it, you got to go to YouTube because, I mean, of course, I'm trying to gain traffic on my YouTube. So if I put the whole thing on social media, why would you go to my YouTube? You know what I'm saying? So definitely subscribe. Again, if you could subscribe, that would be a great support. I'm really trying to grow my channel just because now I'm trying to do different stuff with it. So it's like, why not grow it? Let's see what else. I think that is it. Again, the Melanintoxicate sale code will be in the episode notes. Get y'all some merchandise. There's so many different things, but not as if you remember when I had merchandise before. There's only kind of a lot because there's different designs, but I'm not like some stuff I'm just not even gonna try to sell because they didn't sell before, and maybe if someone specifically asks for it. Because the cool thing is, I wonder if they won't have it by the time, but I like when people do things for me, I give them gifts. And so it's Melanintoxicate wear, but I like as their gift, I made them like it's like nobody else will ever have a melon intoxicate like that because I specifically made it specialized for these people. You know what I'm saying? So that's the cool thing. I mean, I could do stuff like that. You just gotta hit me up and we can go from there. But not really going to get too much into that. And it's not going to really stray away from original designs either. Now, these people are getting something that, not everybody else has at this point. It could be a design that I, launched later. But even if I launched it later, theirs is personalized. You know what I'm saying? But, anyways, I don't even know what made me bring that up. But yeah, get y'all some merchandise. Man, make sure you are taking care of yourself to be mentally healthy, spiritually healthy, emotionally healthy, physically healthy, healthy in your relationships. As y'all heard, my quiet time in the morning, like that is quality time is one of my love languages. So, quiet time by myself is important for me to love myself. You know what I'm saying? So I start my day with journaling, then I read my Bible and kind of like set my intentions for even my day and whatever. And it's kind of like, man, I feel so amazing at the end of that. And I'll spend a good at least an hour. It could be longer depending on what's going on in my mind and how much I journal, and that is a priority. Like my day revolves around that. So if I sleep in, which I don't really sleep in as much anymore, but if for some reason I sleep in, that's still how I'm going to start my day because that'll just mean the day will go longer, and that's okay because I'm not bound by, specific hours or whatever. But yeah, make sure you are doing what you have to do to be healthy because there's only one you, and if you don't take care of you, it doesn't matter what you're trying to accomplish, you're not going to be able to sustain it, whether you have a mental breakdown, a physical breakdown, or whatever. Like you have to, you know what I'm saying, make it happen make yourself a priority. That's why I have my day of rest. I compromised on that a little bit in the beginning, and I kind of got convicted like I have to rest. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be the best quality of me that I'm presenting to the world, be it content or whatever I'm doing, if I'm not taking the time to like rest and reset. Same thing with like a computer. You gotta shut it down. You gotta do whatever sometimes when it's acting stupid. So yeah, make sure y'all taking care of yourselves. Let's see what else. I feel like I got all the announcement out the way. Oh, I usually do this earlier. Weekly podcast shout out. Kind of forgot about that. Maybe I do need to go back to my bullet points. Tales from the Animal Kingdom podcast is somebody I'm in a retweet group with. Description says poorly informed and yet somehow educational nonsense. So the link to their website will be in the episode notes. Check them out. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. So thank you so much for talking. Thank you so much for tuning in, sticking with me, and all that good stuff. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for...